You're watching 1700 Since TV show for anything and everything Australian music. We just had a fantastic performance from Bridget Chappelle, who just performed some of their fantastic songs, including Revenge and I Just Want, not I Just Want to Race, 200 Fast, 200 Furious. And now we're here for the all-exclusive interview.
And there'll be two parts to this interview, so hold tight, stick around because we've got plenty to unearth and delve into. And this is going to be a bit of a random question to start off with, but it connects with the music that you just played, Bridget. In your bio, you talk about that Hextape spans the hardcore continuum, so gabba, jungle, breakbeat and techno, exploring the magical realism of rave culture. Now,
Ooh, good line.
Can you just delve into this a little bit more and tell us what this means and how that contributes and is a part of the music that you just played?
Yeah, that's a really nice question to be asked. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I really like, I don't know, just going into like other worlds with my music. It's like heavy nostalgia. I grew up going to raves, mostly in Sydney, and it was just like the most exciting part of the week. And I suppose when you're a teenager, you're kind of always looking for music that just becomes more and more extreme. It's like pushing some boundary for you or people around you or something. And then I don't know, the first time I heard gabba, I was just like, what is this music? It's so abrasive. I love it. And it's funny because it just kind of stuck with me. I took this music psych class earlier this year and they showed us all these studies where the music that you listen to as a teenager really does kind of shape your musical interests for the rest of your life. Not necessarily, but for many people, it does actually seem to pan out that way. Or like maybe just you keep returning to the same like 20 albums over and over that you listen to at that critical point where you were just like listening to as much music as you could possibly, I don't know, consume. And maybe that's how it is for me now. Yeah.
Where you're just you've taken all the music that you listened to in the past and you've just kind of like meshed it together.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. And I just have like mad nostalgia for so many of those genres. It's like funny to see them coming back now a little bit as well.
I think nostalgia is a huge part of music. You know, when we hear a bop from, a couple of years ago, it just, it really is a strong part.
It's
and
a powerful
you remember
force.
it and it ticks over in your mind. So that's really cool. And you mentioned pushing the boundaries. Do you try and push the boundaries with your music?
I mean, like kind of in funny ways, just seeing how fast how high the beats per minute can go before like the kick drum just blows into one continuous sound. Yeah.
So did your taste in music, is that what motivated you to go into music originally?
I mean, I was lucky to grow up in a musical household. Like I grew up in like a totally different kind of musical background of playing cello and studying like classical music, which has also stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I suppose now it's just been this like funny process of trying to pile lots of seemingly incongruous musical projects on top of each other and seeing if I can get them to gel.
That's amazing. Yes, you mentioned that you do you still play cello?
Yeah, so I still study classical cello like at VCA. Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of like playing like raves and playing classical music. Like they blow off steam from each other.
It's amazing, such a
like
juxtaposition between like two completely different music genres.
They're two kinds of different being really stressed out, I guess. Yeah, like maybe one is like too organized and so I need to go and do something really disorganized and then I need to go back to some structure or something. But I've had a couple of really nice shows that I've put on or like events where I've gotten to kind of combine them I started this project a few years ago called the Melbourne Squat Orchestra, or like the real MSO as I like to call it.
Love it.
Of getting like all of my friends who maybe like grew up playing say like the flute or violin or doing ballet even, and then like you get older and you turn into like a teenager and you're like, I don't need that in my life anymore. And then sometimes later in life you want to come back to it but you don't really know how to do it. So that was a project for all those people, and then getting to play as like an orchestra with ballet in just like spaces where you would put on a rave, like in a drain or an abandoned warehouse or something.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Looking back to the idea of nostalgia, I really like this point that you raised. When you're creating music, obviously you're kind of remembering the music that you used to listen to growing up and as a teenager, but do you also reflect on your own experiences, personal experiences or your life experiences, and then put them into your music as well, or put these memories into your music?
I definitely have. Like my first album as Hextape was like it came from like a real place of like needing to do heavy processing. I like moved to the Blue Mountains by myself and like wrote an album. Like I had literally just bought my first synthesizer, had no idea how to use it, and thought that a great place to learn how to use it was like a really long way away from the internet where I couldn't look anything up when I didn't know how to make it work. And that was like a heavy processing time. This EP that I like just put out a few months ago, it was really just kind of wanting to like to be perfectly honest, celebrate the Fast and the Furious movie franchise.
But why, what else?
When I saw the name, I had that moment of, are we playing off the movie?
Yeah, it's not a
this
coincidence. I just love
that. So you're a
movie
fan?
series, yes.
You're an idea.
Honestly, like next like Fast and Furious song, have a bit of like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just like his voice just booms out. At
There's
one point.
so much material there.
Well, would that be
seriously.
a dream, writing music for the franchise?
Oh my god.
So
yeah.
cool.
That's the dream.
Yeah, or at least for like the video game or something.
Yeah.
No, when I started making this EP, I was driving a Celica, which is like a really, really, really crap version of a Skyline. And I just got heaps into cars. It kind of came out of nowhere.
As you do.
Anyway, it was just like fun to make like a way less serious record, basically.
Yeah, I reckon next album's gonna be just Fast and Furious. Nothing
Everything.
else.
All done.
After Exacta, which we will talk about as well, like with more of your music and your other projects. Right after this break, we will be right back. This is 1700.